All right, so hopefully you were able to grab those two items, paper and pen or pencil. And let's get started. So today we're going to be working on developing our plan for relationship that we, each individual person, hopes to have for themselves. So we're going to do some practice on really thinking about what we want, what our goal is, what we're striving for, and a plan on how to get there. Okay, so that's our agenda.
Visualization, the recreation of images, sounds, and environments before it has happened, is one of the most powerful skills in the world. A very powerful meditation and mindfulness practice, visualization has been used for centuries to help prepare the mind, the body, and the consciousness for upcoming challenges, situations, and circumstances. Some of the world's greatest athletes use visualization as a way to prepare for big games, the big day, musicians for their new concerts and tours, and CEOs for their very important meetings. Psychologist Alan Richardson set out to prove the power of visualization through an experiment that I want to share with you today.
That's great. Do tell.
Richardson gathered a group of basketball players and arranged them into 3 different groups. The intent of this study was to demonstrate the effectiveness of visualization in how the players converted free throws.
Nothing but net.
The 3 groups were as follows. The first group practiced 20 minutes every day. The second group visualized themselves making free throws but didn't participate in practice. The third group did not practice free throws or visualization at all.
You don't have to do anything.
The results were absolutely staggering. The group that only visualized free throws and didn't practice at all showed marked improvement and were nearly as accurate as the ones that practiced for 20 minutes every single day.
What?
What it showed is that visualization and the recreation of that moment in time allowed people to prepare mentally to the effect of 20 minutes a day of practice. Now, the group that didn't practice or didn't visualize at all naturally regressed. They took a step backward. What this is shown in countless other examples as well is how visualization with action, with practice, can be the formula that we've all been looking for. Often we get forced into action without visualization, and although that really gets us going and that practice really does make us perfect, that visualization can start the process with more confidence, more conviction, and more courage.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to this. This is just a quote from Einstein, where basically he's saying that you have to change your thinking if you want to change your results. If you think the same, you're going to have similar results, whether they're positive or negative. So if you are trying to change your experiences, you have to change the way that you see things, the way you think about things. And one of the things that we can do to help with that is to actually visualize a different outcome. As the gentleman was saying, you're conditioning yourself to see success. And we're talking about relationships. So when we're considering the things that have gone well, the things that have not gone well, and really what we want. So we've talked quite a bit about understanding ourselves, understanding our connection with other people, and how to improve those connections, communications. And so that's essentially visualizing as well. But what we're going to do now is actually look at considering what we see as being our idea of a healthy, happy relationship for us. And it's different for everyone because we have different needs, as we've talked about before. So you're going to be looking at basically writing out for yourself as a way to focus on what you believe is going to be right for you. And that means a fulfilling relationship with what you need in it, what you want in it, that will make you feel happy, comfortable, trusting, loved, and that is going to be what you're going to refer back to make sure that your choices are consistent with what your vision is, what you believe God has for you in this area. Okay. And what you'll see is that I bold certain words because they all basically kind of summarize what the whole thing says. So visualizing daily is practicing and training for success. Okay. If you are mentally practicing, if you're seeing success in what you're seeing for yourself, then it's more likely that that success will be realized in your world. Negative thoughts, whether it's your past relationship trauma or fear of not finding a relationship, they can sabotage the positive outcomes that you could be looking for. And you want to actually have the option of being able to see things in a good way. Okay, sorry. Why is this going? Okay. I feel like you guys are probably seeing the wrong screen. Let me fix this. And that share sound is already on. All right. Hopefully you're able to see the full screen now. All right. So the assignment, you got your pen and your paper, pencil and paper, is to describe the relationship that you feel is right for you. That's going to give you all the things that you need, and it also give you the opportunity to share the things of yourself that you believe God is giving you to impart to your significant other. And I got a little inspiration here for you while you're writing that. Will it take a minute or two to do that? To restrict yourself to these questions, just kind of to get you started. Whatever you see that you believe God has for you, right there. been writing a long time. Hopefully that was enough time for you. We'll on to the next thing. All right. So again, talking about focus, and that was writing a vision for your relationship, but we also want to make sure that we're reaffirming and focusing on positive things for ourselves. Some of us have moments of negative thoughts creeping in about ourselves from past experiences, fears. But we know that what you focus on affects the trajectory of the level of success that you have in any given part of your life. So that is why we so often in scripture see where it instructs us to focus because it's very important. It affects our faith. If God is telling us good things about ourselves, if we're discounting it by telling ourselves negative things, then that's not having the faith in God to believe that what he's saying is true. So we have to speak those things over the negative thoughts that come in. The word tells us to frequently to meditate, ponder, focus, attend, so on, different words that all mean that you need to focus your mind on what it is that God is saying that you need to focus on. And it's difficult to do that if you're not believing that God is saying positive things about you, for your life. So that being said, we want to write down some affirmations.
At the age of 14, I stumbled upon this really cool book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And the book had a tremendous impact on my life. After reading the book, I felt overexcited and began applying those principles every single day of my life. However, as time went by, I simply forgot everything, including what the book was about. Then, 10 years later, at the age of 24, I accidentally once again stumbled upon the book and decided to reread it, which made me realize how quickly we forget even the most important things in life. Then I began thinking why things like that happen and how I could prevent something like this from happening again. Eventually it hit me that I need to define my principles in life and repeat them out loud to myself every single day so that I would never. At the age of
All right. So affirmations are another way to focus on the positive things that God is speaking to you in your life. Sometimes it's directly in accordance with what negative thoughts we have, and sometimes it's a refocusing away from those things. But those positive thoughts about ourselves, our purpose, and our future help us to pass the test that life has for us. It prepares us mentally and emotionally to weather the storms. So what you want to do is write down the things that God has shown you, told you, has spoken to you about your purpose, the vision for your life. It can be about, your relationships or potential relationships, but even if it's not, if it's just about you, because those things we know tie together. Your purpose is not going to be outside of the love relationship that God has for you. So you want to write them down, because if you think about it, and I think we're all on here old enough to remember that, or to have experienced that, sometimes we have these epiphanies or these moments of clarity, and then we're revisited by them, which means we've forgotten them, which was the point of that video. Is if you write them down and keep them front of mind, then you can focus on them and have them spoken over those negative things that come, that maybe want you or are pushing you to forget the positive things. It's sometimes hard to hold on to that in a difficult time, but writing them down will help to reaffirm those things when it's difficult to remember, or you maybe don't have outside positive influences. You don't want the negative thoughts to crowd out the positive things. So you want to actively reject the negative by embracing the positive. So we're going to write down 3 is more than enough. If you have more, then that's fine. But if you want to write down 3 things that God has shown you, told you, positive things that you know you need to reaffirm for yourself on a regular basis, to keep them front of mind for where you are in your life, for what you believe God has you focusing on right now. And this is something that you're going to put up on your mirror. This is something that Jay had asked previously for us to do. I think it actually before I joined the group, but but you want to put it somewhere where you can kind of, especially like maybe on your bathroom mirror first thing in the morning, so you can start your day with that mindset. And those are going to be kind of your affirmations for the day. So I'll give you guys a minute to do that. And this is just for you, so you don't have to, you don't have to be shy. Be honest, be raw.
Tashawn,
Yes.
did you say we write them down now
Yes.
of affirmations?
Yes.
Oh, I have all this stuff.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Cool. No, it's okay. Some people have done it, but for those who haven't.
I kept like seeing pauses and I was like, I think I'm missing something here. Okay, back to muting.
No problem. Discussions. How do I talk to somebody? What's a good line? What should I say? How should I, decide, to approach, not approach? What's a good thing to start the conversation with, whatever. So we got this little video, and then we got another little piece, and we're just about done. At least with, the presentation part.
Approach. Yes. So when you think about conversation, you usually think about the first line. But research shows that our first impression doesn't happen when you first hear someone. It happens when you first see someone. So actually, the best conversationalists, they always approach. They almost start their conversation on the approach. So what I want you to do is anytime you're about to initiate conversation or you're about to go to someone and introduce yourself, is set yourself up right. So the best first impression happens when you have nice open body language. So you want your hands really visible, out of pockets, not tucked into your purse, not behind your back. Helps with our trust cues. Right. And then having your shoulders down and back. Anytime we turtle, it signifies anxiety. So shoulders down and back, and then your smile is actually your opening line. So when you smile at someone, it warms them up. Right. To them.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry.
I'm going, oh, this person's about to talk to me, and
Right.
it gets them sort of already going. It's like your opening line a little bit, your smile.
Right. That's a good idea. And what would be a good opener?
Okay, so everyone asked me, what's a good pickup line? What's a good opening line? There was a huge research experiment that looked at almost every single pickup line, all the different ways we start conversation.
Let me guess. Would it be a compliment? First thing you say is, I like that ring or those boots or that dress?
Compliments are great second and third. The first one. The first one
Oh, darn
is,
it.
I know it's going to sound simple. Hello, how are you?
Oh!
By far.
Yeah.
That one by far. And if you think about it, that's actually, you don't really want to say something too intense when you first start. So
That's
you have
true.
this smile, you go up, you say, hey, how are you? I'm Vanessa, whatever. And then you go into what's next. And what's the next part, so you've already introduced.
So you don't even say your name? The first
You can
thing?
say, hey,
Okay.
hey, how are you? I'm Vanessa.
Gotcha.
Hey, how are you? That hey, how are you? Hello, how are you? It's actually so nice because it's so easy and it's so natural. So
Right.
don't think of anything crazy. Just go with what's simple.
Okay.
And then what I want you to do is look for what's called conversation sparks. So conversation sparks, this is the difference between a dazzling conversation and kind of like a meh conversation.
Right.
So conversation sparks are, the nonverbal cue is when you're engaging curiosity. When you're engaging someone to go, wow, that's really interesting. And can I teach you the nonverbal sign for
Sure,
sparks?
sure.
So across cultures, across genders and races, there's one thing that everyone does when they are super engaged, and it's the eyebrow raise.
Oh.
So you just
yeah,
did it.
Just
So
did it.
anytime someone says something interesting, we go, oh, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the topics, the conversations, the stories that make them go, oh, really?
That means
How
they're really
interesting."
listening.
That means that you're not just going into meh,
Right.
boring. So what I want you to think about is you set your intention, right? So maybe your intention is to get to know your in-law better,
Okay.
right? So what you'd be doing is asking questions that you're trying to look for likes, mutual likes. Do you like this? Restaurants, vacations?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have similar hobbies that we like? And then you're looking for that, oh, I loved the baseball game last night.
Right.
And then you know you've hit it. You've hit a spark. And then you can go down that hole, on that rabbit hole in the conversation. So you're looking for the spark, the eyebrow raise, when you set that intention. That's what you're looking for the whole time.
Okay, ending a conversation. My husband and his family can never end, and I don't know how they do it, but they can never end a conversation. It's the funniest thing.
So we don't think about ending a conversation as important, but actually your last impression is just as important as your first
Yeah.
impression. So here's what you do. Here's a really easy way if you ever want to end a conversation.
Sorry. I don't know why this keeps
First, mention, it's called a future mention. So, hey, what are you up to this weekend? What are you doing later today? It actually shifts the focus from present to future.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then they talk about, oh yeah, this weekend, I'm gonna go to the hike in Forest Park.
Right.
That's your cue to say, well, it was so great speaking with you. I wish you the best of luck on that hike. I hope it's great fun. So actually that future mention is a nice little tie-in.
Segue, yeah.
And it's a really clean, nice, polite way to thank them for the conversation and then wish them the best of luck on whatever their future endeavor is.
All right, so I kept all of that in because I was like, well, and I imagine that some people may decide they want to get out of the conversation once they're like, oh, okay, this is not what I was expecting. so that's a way to get into it, to keep it going if you want to keep it going, and how to get out of it. All right, so these are the simple openers that she mentioned. Hello, how are you? And then also, this is what I was thinking about. I said, okay, we talked about how you meet people in certain situations to find the type of person this is, right? And so I was thinking, okay, can I find different places to say, all right, this is where you can meet this person? And I said, you know what? That's too hard. What's everyone have to do? Everybody's got to go to the grocery store. Everybody's got to go meet Jay. Every personality type are going to do certain things. So if you have openers for situational things, then you will you'll be able to. I figured it out now. When I'm turning the chat on, it stops my video thing. But anyway, when you have openers for situations, then it just kind of makes it easy because you're just setting it up based on what's around you And they have an out if they don't want to be in, and if they do, then they can engage you. I don't know if you're one of those people that is at the store and for some reason they feel like you have the perfect idea of what color they should wear, or what shirt looks good on them. I get that all the time, but that's something that you can do, is ask somebody for their opinion, or ask them if they know where certain thing is, or whatever. This is situational and isn't negative. Don't do Walmart's lines are always so long, I can't stand it. Be positive, like she said, open body language, upbeat, positive. And as you see in the image, everybody's smiling. So you want to have that receptive demeanor, and ask something that's somewhat open-ended so that it can lead into a kind of a conversation. Now, if you know that you have certain preferences, like if you are a reader, or you like adventures or things like that, then your follow-up question can be something that kind of draws that out of, oh, I just got back from this great trip, or, I'm reading this book. And their reactions or their responses can kind of give you an idea of their level of interest or agreement. Okay, Marcus, he's always clowning. So, so those are some ideas that you can kind of come up with and just have front of mind. Easy, not, difficult or embarrassing. I was telling Jay that, I was gonna, one thing that I've used, and I don't just use this to like meet people, but this is what I use if I want somebody to kind of just do whatever I want. And the first thing that I say is, I need you. I think it might be a female male thing though, but I always get all I want when I start with that. Because they're like, me? What do you need from me? And they're intrigued and all that stuff. So, but that's a little forward. Some people that's a lot for them. But I like disarming people. So that's one of my disarming openings. So so you don't have to, this is not a exercise where you have to write anything down, but you just want to kind of internalize those simple tips. So when you're in a situation or you're in a place somewhere, you want to be able to say, okay, oh, I can ask them, if they know where such and such is, or, you can just pick something. And usually you have something in your mind you're thinking anyway, like, why did gas price go up so high just recently? I need to check the news and figure that out. But, there's usually something that is already in your mind that you can just verbalize as a way to start a conversation with a person. Okay. So one of our last things here, and this is something I'm asking you guys to do for me. I need you to do this for me. I want you to think of one thing that you can do every day. That it doesn't have to be that anybody else can see. That's why I got like lingerie on here, perfume. It can be outward facing, it can be inside, but something that makes you feel better, whether anybody knows that you did it or not. If it's, doing your hair a certain way, wearing, pumps to the grocery store, whatever it is, male or female, what is it that makes you feel like, and when you do that, you just feel like you're a mood shift. And you want to, and it's something simple, not super complicated, not going to the barber every day, none of that stuff, but something that you can do that is going to bolster your positive energy, it's going to make you feel good. Whether anybody knows that you have this on or that you did this thing or whatever, okay? And that's something that you can try to start practicing doing, so that even if you don't, like, you might start your day and not realize that you're gonna have to run and do something, or, you know, you're gonna meet somebody, but you've done that thing already. That one thing you've already done. So when you see that woman or that man and you wanna, you know, open a conversation, you'll have that extra, you know, little something to bolster your confidence and make you more comfortable. Because how many of us, you know, think, oh, I'm just gonna go do this, and you're not even, you assume you're not gonna see anybody or meet anybody, or you are not even thinking of it, and then you're like, oh man, I don't even look, I'm not ready. So this is gonna be starting along that path of just, you know, one thing you can do to feel more ready for that opportunity. Okay. So I'm gonna let you guys write that down, but I'm gonna go to the next one. And this is perfume, because I mean, everybody likes smell good. Okay. And it's sometimes it's a way for somebody to talk to you. They're like, you smell good. What is that? So, you know,